everyone, welcome to our online debate session. Today's motion is climate change awareness should be taught as a moral obligation. Each team consists of 2 members and each member will take one of the following rules: opening, argument, rebuttal, and closing. Please use polite and academic English throughout the debate. I will serve as moderator and timekeeper. The debate will follow this format: opening statement 1 to 2 minutes, argument 2 minutes, rebuttal 3 minutes, and closing statement 1 minute. We will begin with the pro team followed by contra team. Begin the debate. We will start with the pro team. Pro speaker 1, you may deliver your opening statement. You have 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges and respected opponents. Today we stand in strong agreement that climate change awareness should indeed be taught as a moral obligation. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is a current reality that affects every corner of our planet, from rising sea levels to extreme weather events. Teaching about it is not just about academic duty, but an ethical responsibility. Education has always shaped moral values, and by instilling climate awareness in younger generations, we nurture empathy, responsibility, and respect for our shared environment. Understanding climate change as a moral issue means recognizing that our choices today determine the survival and well-being of future generations.
Right.
Wait. Okay, thank you. Now we move to the contra team. Please deliver your opening statement. You have 1 to 2 minutes.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Moderator. We from the Contra team, and we would like to respectfully disagree with the notion that climate change awareness should be taught as a moral obligation. We will acknowledge that yes, climate change is real and a serious issue, but turning it into a moral obligation is not the right way to do it. Why? Because our stance is clear. Climate change awareness should be taught as a scientific and social responsibility, not a moral duty. Why? Because making it a moral duty as an obligation can cause a combination of guilt, pressure, and even rejections among students. And as well, it can also limit open discussion and make people feel forced instead of being inspired. So today we will show that teaching through science and empowerment is much more effective than teaching through more pressure.
Alright, thank you. Now, pro speaker, please present your argument. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Our argument rests on the moral duty of humans to protect life and reduce the harm. Climate change awareness helps students to understand the consequences of human actions and encourage sustainable behavior. According to Stevenson et al., 2022, in Nature Climate Change, integrating climate change education with ethical and emotional engagement significantly increasing students' motivation to act sustainably. Furthermore, organizations like UNESCO 2021 emphasize that empowering education must go beyond scientific facts. It must cultivate values, attitudes, and behavior aligned with global sustainability. When we teach climate awareness as a moral obligation, we create citizens who not only understand the science but also feel actively committed to protect the earth.
Thank you. Now, contra speaker, you may now present your argument. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. First of all, moral pressure can create guilt, not motivation, that we already established. When we say that climate awareness is a moral duty, it sounds like people are bad if they don't act. But studies show that guilt often makes people avoid the topic instead of helping them change. A 2021 study from Science Direct found that when environmental message use guilt or more pressure, people became less willing to act and feel more fatigue. So moral framing can actually reduce engagement instead of improving it. And second of all, not everyone shares the same moral values. Morality is not universal. It diverges across culture and religions. For example, a 2022 survey by George Mason University found that only 44% of Americans see climate change as a moral issue, while most see it as an environmental or a scientific one. This means teaching it as a moral obligation can cause confusion and disagreement among students from different backgrounds. And third of all, the focus should be practical, not moral. If school teaches climate change as a moral duty, students may focus on what is right or wrong instead of what can we actually do. Education should teach real actions like recycling, saving energy, and using green technology, not guilt or moral judgment. In short, climate change must be around knowledge, skills, and action, not more guilt.
Okay, next from speaker, you may now deliver the rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, honorable judges. Audi, Aldram, Patton, here the other side. Our opponents might argue that moral education is subjective, that climate awareness should remain purely scientific rather than ethical. However, this view overlooks how moral and environmental understanding are deeply interconnected. A study by Begum et al. In 2022 in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health found that integrating moral and ethical values into environmental education significantly increases students' pro-environmental behavior and sense of responsibility. Similarly, by Zawadzki and Markowska in 2023 in Sustainability emphasized that climate education must address moral reasoning to inspire lasting behavior change. Moreover, IPCC in 2023 has reported that the impacts of climate change disproportionately harm vulnerable populations, making it not only a scientific issue but a profound moral one. Ignoring this moral dimension means neglecting global justice. Therefore, teaching climate awareness as a moral obligation is essential for building an empathetic, equitable, and action-oriented society.
Okay, next Contra speaker, you may present the rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We respect the argument from the opposing team, but their point does not weaken our stance. Let us clarify 3 things. First, they argue the moral and environmental understanding are interconnected. We agree, but connection doesn't mean curriculum integration. Many subjects are connected, yet we do not merge them. Environmental knowledge can still be strong without labeling it as a moral duty. Students need clarity, not emotional pressure disguised as a moral obligation. Second, the studies dimension show correlation, not a necessity. Research may say moral values can support environmental behavior, but it doesn't prove the moral farming must be the core of climate education. In fact, forcing moral interpretation can create bias, reduce critical thinking, and make the lesson feel pricey, especially from students who come from different culture or religious background with different moral framework. Third, they bring up global injustice and vulnerable population. We fully acknowledge that. But again, teaching scientific fact already naturally leads students to empathy and awareness. Understanding data impact and real cases is enough to encourage responsibility behavior without turning classroom into moral judgment space. Make climate education as moral obligation, risks shifting focus from evidence-based learning to emotional persuasion, which weakness objectivity.
Thank you. Next pro speaker, you may please deliver your closing statement. You have 1 minute.
Okay, so thank you, honorable judge, and our respected opponents. So in conclusion, we firmly believe that climate change awareness must be taught as a moral obligation because it presents scientific knowledge. It touches the core of human ethics and responsibility. Education should not only inform but also transform, guiding individuals to act with compassion and integrity toward the planet we all share. When students learn that protecting the environment is a moral duty, they become agents of change who think critically, act responsibly, and care deeply for the future generations. The evidence is clear. Moral-based climate education shapes not just informed minds, but conscientious hearts. Therefore, we stand strong in our conviction that teaching climate change awareness as a moral obligation is essential for creating a sustainable future just for all.
Okay, thank you. Finally, Contra speaker, please deliver your closing statement. You have 1 minute.
We respect the opposing team, but your conclusion assume that moral farming is the only way to teach climate responsibility. We disagree. Climate education does not need to be moral obligation to be effective. Keeping it scientific and natural allows students to think critically and from their own values. When students clearly understand the fact and impact responsibility, behavior will grow natural without forcing a specific moral view. Adding moral pressure can also create conflict among students with different culture and religious background. School must stay inclusive and focus on evidence, not moral judgment. We do not reject good values. We simply believe values become stronger when they come from understanding, not obligation. Therefore, we stand firm, teach climate change with sense, less moral develop naturally. That is the fairest and most effective approach. Thank you.